Hello, people. I've been coming on talking, but I got something to say now. Sat around and worked and done some things and done some thinking. You know, I know there's some people out there that's probably had some of the same problems I've had in life, and so maybe I'll talk to you about one of them. About maybe old wounds that you're carrying around, maybe from childhood. I know I did. And it hasn't been that long ago that I finally released it. You know, I was raised in the military by a high-ranking man, and I guess that's why I've always been kind of stern. But, and I never wanted for anything. He took care of us well, but he brought that work home. And anybody that's been in the military, that was raised in the military, will be able to tell you the same thing. You know, I mean, not all of them brought it home, but a lot of them did. They brought that work home. My father did, a lot of times. And early on, you know, it moved all the time. And early on, they moved a lot more than when I came along. My brothers and sisters, they experienced more moving than I did. By the time I come around, we were stationed in Omaha, Nebraska at SAC headquarters, and he had moved up in rank. He wasn't traveling no more. We were staying on Bates Housing. And I remember there were good times. I remember that it got worse after he come out of the military. When he retired, it got worse. It got really bad because, I mean, he had it all together. You know, he was a big man in the military. When he come out, people didn't give a shit what he had done, you know, where he had been and what war he'd fought in. I mean, you know, you had my father was a munitions expert, so everything from smart bombs to nuclear weapons. And where a soldier would get drafted and spend a year in Vietnam, you know, the guys that were in the service were there for the whole thing, you know. Dad was on Guam and Thailand and Japan and all that, but he loaded all them B-52 bombers. His crew did, and he was over there for years. I've seen many times we'd go pick him up. He'd come in, and his bags wouldn't even be packed, and some general would call or something, and he'd have to get up and go. Have to go work on an airplane halfway across the world. You know. But it got worse when he got out. That's when it started getting to his nerves, and he turned into a mean son of a bitch. Started drinking more because he wasn't as important as he was. And he come out and run some successful companies, but you know, and there was a lot to it, and I'm not going to talk about it. I don't have to talk about it because the people who've been through it know. You know, there was a lot of meanness that went on. I mean, he was a good man. I loved my father, and he was good to me. I never wanted for anything, like I said. I broke his heart. You know, I was groomed to go in the military, and that didn't happen. And you know, he taught me to play the guitar, and when I wanted to be a rock star, he didn't understand. So when I wanted to be an artist, he didn't understand. You know, had he supported me on it, I probably would have went to college and been teaching art in school. That's what I wanted to do, you know. And believe it or not, I wanted to be a cop until I grew up and found out, you know. So if anybody's out there, if you're carrying that around, I had to let all that go. There was a lot of bad times, a lot of fighting, arguing, being mean to Mama, and Mama would leave. And that's another thing. At 8, 9 years old, being a child was over for me. My father set me down, and he said, it's time for you have to do something that I can't do anymore, and your brothers and sisters are gone, nobody can do anymore. My mother, now just to start off and say, she wasn't too simple. She was smart enough to marry my daddy, you know, and ended up being the smartest marriage in the whole family. But Mama was kind of simple. Mama couldn't drive a car. She's real smart, you know. I mean, she's common sense, just like anybody. She's a housewife. But at 8, 9 years old, I had to quit being a boy, and everywhere my mama went, I had to go with her. If mom and daddy got in a fight, mom got on an airplane, flew to California to go stay with my aunt because they got in an argument, I had to go. She couldn't get on airplanes by herself. And it went on that way all the way growing up. Even when she went to work, after all them years, I had to take her and pick her up every day. And I would leave school and come down in my car, pick her up, take her home, and then go to work at the car wash that my father operated. And so I had to watch after. There was times we took Greyhound bus rides from Johnson City, Tennessee, all the way to Los Angeles, California. And had I not been with her, she wouldn't have never made it. It was just she couldn't do certain things. She could never go on and off the buses, on and off the airplanes by herself. She couldn't figure those things out. She could read and write. She was smart, but just things made her nervous. Just everybody knows one of them kind of people. And there was a lot more of those people back when we were growing up in the old days, A lot more simple women that stayed home and took care of her, and they just didn't get out and learn the big things and do the big things. And there was a lot of those women around when I was a kid, But I had to let all that go, all them, what I call, I don't know what to call it. I don't know how to explain what went on, except just a dysfunctional family that was functional. Let me put it that way. But I had to let all that go, all that rough growing up, arguing with my father over my hair, over partying, doing what I was doing at that age, They even sent me to California to live with some famous people that they knew and to try to straighten me out. Boy, that straightened me out. Yeah, I come back my man. But if you're holding on to something from your childhood, it's going to hold you back. It's going to hold you back. You're thinking about it all the time, and I recently had to let it go. In the last few months, that's the reason I've not been on. I've had a hard time. Weldon's had a hard time, just like everybody else. And I haven't in the past read comments and stuff like that, but I'm going to start reading them. And, if anybody wants to comment on anything I'm saying on here, because I'm going to start getting on here a lot. And if anybody's got anything, they'll say, please don't hit me by my beliefs because something I told you I believe. Just chime in and give your opinion and leave it at that. Don't pick on no Weldon. That's not what I'm up here for. And I don't talk about politics or nothing. We got enough people in the world to do that. I'm going to talk about music. I'm going to talk about love. I'm going to talk about family. I'm going to talk about getting over problems. Because you can. You can drop them like a rock, man. You don't have to carry that shit around with you. And there's some people who like to carry that crap around with them. Let them. Don't you do it. Leave that stuff. Leave it, and move on. Just like anything else. It's like death, We don't use death as an excuse to destroy ourselves because somebody in our family dies or something. We pick ourselves up and we move on. That's what we do. We're human beings. We pick up and we move on. So, baby, don't think you're alone in this world about your problems. Get it out of you. Talk to somebody. Get on there and talk to me. I'll talk back to you if I hear you talking about something. If you're talking to me, whatever. You can get on there and talk to me. Put it on there. I'll talk back to you. I don't care. Just don't let things from your past bother you. You can really let it get you down. You really can. From your childhood and different things. You got to let things go. We pick up and move on. That's what we do. We don't use problems as an excuse to drink ourselves to death. Don't drink so much. Don't take too many pills. Don't smoke too much pot. Everything in moderation, and I've been guilty of it in my day, God, and I tried to change it, and I have. But I fall down, like anybody else. I fall down and have to get back up and dust myself up all the time. And why? Because I'm a human. But we pick up and we move on. Don't let things get you down. Pick up and move on, baby. Anybody want to comment? Say anything? get on whatever. And I'll read the comments. You know, something I like to talk about, and you want me to talk about, say something. Let's talk. I'm not on here making any money. I'm not on here I'm not got it hooked up to make money on on Flip Flop or Rocky Top or any of that shit. I know we ain't supposed to say the name. I'm not making any money. Not yet. I'm not doing anything. But I will start reading the comments, and I'll talk about whatever you want me to, whatever you ask. You know what I mean? I've been through quite a bit in my life. I'm 54 years old. I'll be 55 soon, in a couple of weeks. And, yeah, it's a wonder I'm here. You know, there was a lot of people. He'll never, the old cliche thing, he'll never make it to 30. They all said it, I'd never make it to 30. Everybody that said that, they're all gone. They're all dead and gone. So, keep on rolling, brother, sisters. Love you.